Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories tonight. Federal government says over 100 Nigerians killed in South Africa in the last 2 years demands end to extrajudicial executions of citizens. Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State condemns destruction of military base foundation troubled community, vows not to give up. House of Representatives proposes fuel levy to fund road infrastructure. Minority Report opposes move, says it will lead to increase in petrol pump price. And at least 70,000 to be evacuated to enable diffusion of World War II bomb in the Greek city of Thessaloniki. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app and tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Well, these are the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal. We begin with this one from Akwa Akadoro in Ezza North Local Government area of Ebonyi State. Our Eyewitness reporter says this wooden bridge links 5 communities in the state and 2 other communities in Enugu State. Our Eyewitness reporter added that these communities have been neglected for many decades. He is seeking the state's government intervention towards the construction of a modern bridge. This next picture is sent in from Idiaraba in Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter is appealing to the agency responsible for the completion of this canal project to return to site. This one is from Abu King Shuluwa Road, Kanshio in Plateau State. Our Eyewitness reporter is excited with the house-to-house metering by Jos Electricity Distribution Company. And finally, our Eyewitness reporter from Otokutu Secondary School, Uheli South in Delta State. It wants the authority in charge of education to do something about this school's infrastructure. Many thanks for sending in those pictures, and we urge you to keep them coming. Nigerians may have to prepare for an increase in the pump price of petrol if the National Roads Fund bill is passed, as being considered by the House of Representatives. The Technical Committee is proposing a fuel levy which will serve as the main source of revenue for the Roads Fund. The members also received a report which highlights the dangers of an increase in fuel pump price. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi has more.
Nigeria has 195,000 kilometers of roads, out of which about 18% are federal roads. Most of these roads are in urgent need of repairs. It is estimated that funds needed for these repairs may not be met by budgetary allocations. In the bid to address this need, the National Roads Fund is being considered as a source of funds for periodic maintenance of roads in the country.
With a little introduction. Doctor.
Gathered here are lawmakers of the House of Representatives Committee on Works with the Technical Committee set up to review the National Roads Fund bill.
It is a further effort in ensuring that the road fund bill, National Road Fund bill, comes into fruition, that it becomes an act.
Alongside other sources of revenue for the Roads Fund, the Technical Committee proposes an increase in the pump price of fuel as the main source of revenue.
It comes about almost 19 naira per liter. And the question that arose therefore was, could we allow for 19 naira per liter? Of course, it became a very disturbing discussion. It was a matter that we discussed extensively for many meetings. At the end, we recommended 5 naira per liter.
However, a minority report opposing this increase was also presented to the House.
The disagreement with the main committee, particularly on the sources of funding, which you had in the presentation, relies partly on increase in the price of fuel, which we think, particularly at this time, is not the right thing. In addition to that, we have other road user charges, which we think are better applicable at this time.
The minority report is proposing commuter service charges, toll bridges, and other sources of revenue for the roads fund. The committee says they will now consider both reports and come up with a decision on how the proposed Nigerian Roads Fund bill will be funded. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Lagos State is called a megacity, and with that comes its challenges, one of which is the management of the 13,000 metric tons of waste generated daily. In this next report, our correspondent Victoria Doe takes a look at the waste management process, the challenges and efforts to tackle them.
Waste generation in Lagos State appears to have been on the increase in recent times. Rapid population growth, a change in public consumption pattern, deficiency in the existing regulatory framework and refuse disposal facilities may have given rise to this. This has also increased the work done by the Lagos State waste management authorities, the private sector partnership operators, as well as the highway managers.
Every day, Lagosians discard tons and tons of garbage waste, from food items to non-perishables such as bottles and steel materials, leaving them to the authorities to deal with. The responsibility of moving these wastes falls on the highway managers, the private waste collectors and Lagos State waste management authorities. For most of us, disposing of our trash is usually the end of the story, but it is the beginning of an extraordinary work carried out by these bodies. To keep the highway sparkling clean like this takes a lot of effort from highway managers, such as 25-year-old Osholi Patricia. She and her colleagues arrive at their duty posts in the wee hours of the day to find the dangers they possibly face to keep the roads clean.
Sometimes you just see a vehicle is coming like this, you'll be scared that maybe this vehicle will hit me, but by God's grace, you just thank God that nothing happened.
That's not all. Waste generated from our homes and offices also need to be moved, and that's the job of the private sector partnership, otherwise called PSP operators. In recent times, there's been a drop in the services rendered by the waste collectors, leaving some neighborhoods and roads littered with heaps of refuse.
Before, like 2015, I was doing my business. It took on my compound, my business premises. I'm back, I will pay them. But for now, it's a problem. They don't come.
It's like within my own area, it's like it's allocated to a particular Loma franchise company. And so because it's only one company taking care of the environment, at times they are not as effective as you want them.
For the PSP operators, that one who wears the shoes knows where it pinches is true.
2016 has been a very year of uncertainty for the PSP operator. They're living in fear of their job. Now, no serious investor, when you're being threatened that you're going to lose your job, will go out there and buy more trucks.
But it appears those in charge have another plan.
Very soon, there is a reform. We will be assuming a regulatory role, and a consortium is already in place, and that will, by the time they take off fully, waste management in Lagos will be world class.
And this seemed to have the backing of the state chief executive.
I don't like the way the city is. The city is dirty. But you know what? The private sector, PSP collectors, they are not having enough capacity to do it. But again, should I tax you to death? The answer is no. I don't want to tax you for everything. So I need this partnership with the private sector so that they can invest in the sanitation management of the city.
Where does this leave the PSP operators who have done this job for some years now?
what the operators are looking for in this reform is that the reform should be built around the operators, because the operators, they are the engine room of this business.
While the state government's move to make waste disposal and management in Lagos State more efficient may be laudable, it is also imperative to put plans in place to address the challenges emanating from the gradual withdrawal of the current PSP operators from the waste management chain to avoid turning the whole metropolis into a dump site. Victoria Idowu, reporting for Channels Television News.
The adoption of modern biotechnology remains the key to fighting hunger, poverty and unemployment in Nigeria. Well, this is according to the Director General of the National Agency for Biotechnology Development, Professor Lucy Ogbadu, who was speaking at a forum in Abuja on keying into global technologies to generate more income.
Nigeria, with an estimated population of over 180 million, is confronted with challenges of food insecurity, poverty and low income. A projection by the United Nations shows that Nigeria's population is 50, at which point it would become the third largest in the world, standing just behind India and China. How to ensure food security, improve income generation and job creation through the adoption of modern biotechnology is the reason for this gathering, organized by the National Agency for Biotechnology Development.
The message has not changed. The facts about this technology, the facts about genetically modified organism, the safety, the truth about the technology. That is the message we have for everyone.
Because of global warming, there are emerging problems, emerging challenges, emerging insects, ravaging the crops, making farmers to lose lots in their farms and works. And so how do we make agricultural business if we continue to, be in this form? And so the adoption of this technology would at least, put smiles on the farmer.
For some time now, there have been a series of debate as to the adoption of genetically modified organisms in boosting agricultural produce. Participants are of the opinion that although the adoption of new biotechnology presents a good opportunity for food security, its pros and cons need to be studied first.
There are, if you like, very many good things that one can derive from the GMOs, but there are also some ills. These ills can be minimal, they can be great, they can also be moderate, but the fact that they are there calls for caution.
The federal government at various fora has promised to ensure food security through its policies. Participants at this event agree that the policies must be backed by action to achieve concrete results.
Around in the country.
It's a new dawn for the administration of justice in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, as the state has commissioned its multi-door courthouse in Abeokuta, the state capital. The deputy governor, Mrs. Yetunde Onanuga, and the chief judge of the state, Mrs. Olatokunbo Olopade, commended the state government's commitment to quality judicial system.
Today, the Ogun State government, in partnership with its judiciary, show unalloyed support for the introduction of the multi-door courthouse to engender an atmosphere that will be less expensive, simplified and faster, but yet effective in ensuring that ultimate justice is delivered.
I boldly say we are indeed ready to provide the good people of Ogun State the much needed forum to explore and benefit from alternative dispute resolution. It is our desire in the Ogun State Judiciary to establish 2 more multi-door courthouses, one in Ijebu-Ode and the other in Ota, in order to ensure the availability of alternative dispute resolution to all and sundry in the 3 senatorial districts of Ogun State.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's security operatives pledged to partner with private business owners. That's on Business News. Join us again.